First off, something that I had a few years ago, I absolutely loved, but then I never got it again. I don't know why, because I loved it. It's called Winter Jack Tennessee Spiced Apple Punch. This is a product of Jack Daniels. Okay. Now, it's not ultra strong or anything. It's not meant to be. Okay. It's meant to be like a festive holiday drink. It's very, very good. Okay. It smells like sweet apples. Okay. It does. It sounds like sweet apples, and I really love it. It smells great. Yule Nog. I don't know if this is new or not. I've never seen it. So it's called Premium Holiday Nog. And what it is, they've combined eggnog with Fireball whiskey.
This clip we're looking at today might seem like more of the same, but there's one important thing I want to point out here, which is the duality of DSP's commentary. Watching DSP light up over bargain bin booze is surreal. He's practically romanticizing Jack Daniels, the stuff college kids slam in shots between regrettable decisions. It's almost like we've entered an alternate timeline where DSP's real job is reviewing cheap liquor, not gaming, if we can even call what he does gaming. Contrast this with his regular streams where he's either whining, blaming lag, or begging for tips. But give him a glass of Fireball eggnog and suddenly this guy's the Gordon Ramsay of gas station liquor.
The contrast here is that he's so excited about trash. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to spirits, and I was checked out as soon as he mentioned it was Jack. My guy, that shit is trash. If you want a good whiskey, you would at least get Maker's Mark or Bullet or Jameson or something more than this. This is the kind of shit college kids toss back shots with. It's fucking gross.
DSP. DSP's a fucking animal, man. It's wild how much more engaged he is when he's talking about booze compared to literally anything else, especially gaming. And that's his supposed job. You don't see this energy when he's talking about actual games, where it's always some headline he skimmed off Twitter or his usual lag excuses. Imagine if DSP embraced this side of himself. The Budget Drinker's Guide, brought to you by DarkSydePhil. Hell, it might actually make him likable, or at least tolerable. Instead, we get this Jack Daniels reverence on one hand and WWE champions grinding on the other, and he still charges $100 for a shot. Bro, even for DSP, that's next level grift. I guess when you're fueled by gin and desperation, dignity's just another thing to sip away.
Yeah, it seems like his true interests lie in being a greedy fuck and an alcoholic. He does this every fucking year. He buys some Smirnoff tier trash and tries to charge you some insane amount like $100 just to take a shot. Who the hell is giving some random person online $100 just to watch them take a shot? Why do you people throw your money away like this? Last time I was on a Tevin stream was a few years ago, I think. It was one of the Christmas streams he did, and he was taking shots for like 15 or 20 bucks or whatever. It was actually entertaining because unlike DSP, Tevin has a personality that shines through his stream. Likewise, he got completely smashed and went off some guy in the SOK who basically robbed a charity. Shit was cash, and I'm gonna remember that for a long time. But this motherfucker's gonna take 2 sips, say, "Oh my god guys, I'm so trash, lol," and refuse to take another sip. Is this content? I feel like I could stream the restroom of a gas station and some fucking dents will give me money for the totally original do not steal content. God, this timeline sucks. Just fucking throw me bare ass into the warp. I'd rather take that than deal with DSP.
Now, I haven't tasted it yet. Smelling it, it definitely smells like eggnog, but it has like a bite to it. And it's weird because usually eggnog has like brandy in it, but this is definitely different. Like it has like a spice to it. And I'm wondering how strong, because Fireball whiskey is very strong cinnamon flavor. And cinnamon is, a lot of people like cinnamon. Some people think it's too strong. So I'm curious how strong this will be. Again, I would think that this is going to be more like a refreshing drink that you can drink slowly, as opposed to, you wouldn't take a shot of this. You just like sip it, right? Okay.
At the start of the commentary, I pointed out that none of this is practically new, but I wanted to highlight something, about the dichotomy of DSP at least. But again, it's just fucking wild how DSP transforms when he's talking about booze. Suddenly, the complaints vanish, the passion turns on, and he's practically poetic about eggnog and Fireball whiskey. Meanwhile, his gaming streams, the things he supposedly built his career on, they're a wasteland of whiny surface level takes. This fucking guy couldn't explain a game mechanic if it came with an instruction manual stapled to his forehead. But give him a drink, and suddenly he's a walking liquor commercial. Imagine if he brought this same energy to gaming. Instead of moaning about trolls or blaming lag, he could actually dive into the lore mechanics. But no, gaming is just a set dressing for his real act, which is fundraising for his next liquor store trip. I mean, it's more than that, but you kinda get the point. Watching him gush over booze while treating games like chores tells you everything you need to know about where his interests really lie. And spoiler, it's not with gaming, my friends. And hey, I'm not saying that enjoying booze for the taste and mixology and other interesting aspects is bad. If you're into that shit, more power to you, man. But DSP's contrast between what he does for a living and what he actually likes to do is so jarring to me. Which is kinda why it bugs me so much when he says he's one of us. Gamers, that is. And this isn't to gatekeep, but holy fuck, this guy makes 6 figures off of pretending to be interested? And that's kind of what really activates my almonds. I mean, fuck this guy. What else is there to say?
Indeed, fuck this guy. I'm struggling to even find the words to describe what I'm watching here. It's some milk-aged Mr. Rogers wannabe in a Santa hat talking about Fireball, whiskey, and eggnog. How fucking original and interesting. Like I said before, I was a snob. I was the guy buying 15-year-old bottles of scotch to unwind after an abusive job and some raids. Single malt scotch whiskey is my shit. Opening the bottle and smelling the wood and earthy aroma, aerating and pouring a nice smooth glass over some ice, feeling the texture as it washes over your tongue. The warmth that comes along with the smooth burn. Good whiskey isn't something you take shots of. You pour a small glass and take small sips over the course of the night. But this is some legit alcoholic shit. Who the fuck takes shots of eggnog? And eggnog mixed with trash like Jack? I mean, I get it. Not everyone wants to blow like $200 on a single bottle. Even I buy Svedka for shots just because I'm not gonna blow a ton of cash on some shit just so I can get fucked up. But that's the thing. He's not coming at this like a connoisseur or, well, anybody with a sense of class or decorum. He's just an alcoholic.
Now, we also have the Winter Jack is 15.2% volume, I'm being told. So it's not that strong. It's way, more light than, say, hard liquor. Okay. Another unique thing we have today, whip shots. Peppermint flavored whipped cream. 10% alcoholic volume. No, I have never had alcoholic whipped cream before. I saw it at the liquor store, and I said, I'll just buy it, and we'll just try it on stream, and we'll see if it's any good. I have no idea if it's going to taste good. How good could it possibly be? Now, I'm sure it's incredibly high calorie, so I'm not going to be eating the whole bottle today. But, someone might want to see me take a shot and do a contribution, say, hey, Phil, try the shot or something like that. We'll see, okay?
Hearing DSP talk about calories and nutrition is almost fucking disgusting. I don't mean to body shame anybody, but this is not the person I want to talk to me about nutrition. We've seen the flab on his arms and the jowls that hang off of his plastic-ass face. His idea of good health likely starts and ends with, I'm not dead yet, so I must be doing great. You think this guy is managing his macros, hitting those protein goals, minimizing carbs to get lean? No, he just eats whatever his mail-order child bride cooks when she gets home from her goddamn Mick job. That is, when she's not replaying Skyrim for the 87th fucking time.
And let's not lose sight of the real grift here. DSP is charging $100 per shot during this event. That's not our group goal, it's individual tips. Want to see him down a shot of Winter Jack or alcoholic whipped cream? Pony up a Benjamin. The gall would almost be impressive if it wasn't so blatantly scummy. And here's the kicker. This man's tolerance is probably through the roof. You're not getting a real drunk reaction or any hilarious antics. You're funding his mobile game addiction and nightly gin binges. What's even sadder is how proudly he pitches this as content, squeezing every drop from his audience, both literally and figuratively, I might add, while pretending it's all in the spirit of Christmas. I hope you're smarter than this.
And then, of course, we got the real deal. All right? We've got the big guns. We've got the serious business. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, after over a week of waiting, today I get to have the Smokehead High Voltage Islay or Islay Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. Finally, I get to partake in this baby. It is a whopping, overwhelming 58% alcoholic volume. 58. That means this is more than 100 proof liquor. It's that dang strong.
Snobseer Daikun here. I've never heard of this brand before, so I had to look it up. The shit is like 60 bucks. Yeah, the ABV is high, and he is correct that it is technically higher than a 100 proof spirit. However, it's trash. It's a gimmick drink. He calls this a big deal. It's not even aged. Apparently it has chocolate in it too. Good lord, this is like watching a child give an unironic critique of Lunchables. Like, it would be adorable if it were a child, but this is a grown-ass man. And an alcoholic. Ugh.
Let's all pause and take a step back and remember that DSP is supposedly a video game streamer. I mean, sure, he labels himself as a variety streamer nowadays, but for most of his career, air quotes there, gaming has been the main act. Now ask yourself something. Have you ever heard him talk about games with this level of energy, detail, or sheer glee? Ever seen him light up discussing mechanics or lore? Of course not, unless you count him yelling at the camera that Elden Ring's dodge is delayed because he can't grasp basic timing.
Quick interjection here, but if my memory is correct, both The Outsider, Shoutout, and I agree that he had a legit passion for Final Fantasy VI.
I mean, that's all fair enough, but look at this clip. It's all about the booze. The guy becomes a whole new person when food or alcohol is involved. And yeah, feasting with the king might be the most revolting content on YouTube, but it proves something important. DSP can show passion when it comes to stuffing his face or chugging cheap whiskey. Compare that to his usual gaming streams where the most profound insight you'll get is, wow, this mechanic is dumb, guys. A complaint that 9 times out of 10 boils down to I'm bad at the game. But beyond bad gameplay, one of the biggest issues is his fucking laziness. This guy's setup screams, I don't care. Awkwardly craning his neck to look at chat, zero effort to improve camera angles, and the same slapdash production quality whether he's gaming, eating, or trying to install an SSD while his brain cells go on break. He's capable of doing better, I know he is, but he doesn't even try. And why? I mean, why would he? He doesn't have to. The snorting cult funds him regardless.
If you ask me, this guy just sucks at everything. He reviews games with the eloquence of a damp sock with the intellect to match. The way he talks about food is just as bad. I just had to sit and watch his last, what the fuck does he call it? Feasting with the King? Whatever, I don't care. Anyway, he's reviewing fast food, specifically some fucking pizza. He didn't make it himself because this 40-year-old man doesn't know how to cook, and to top it off, we are once again graced with the tumors he calls fingers and the paper fucking plates. And watching the video, not only did the thought of putting a lasgun in my mouth cross my mind several dozen fucking times, but we also get pure silence followed by gross mouth slapping noises. And what do we get after a full minute of this shit? It's really weird, followed by sensations of herbs and spices. How fucking eloquent.
Okay? It's insane. It's incredibly potent. So, in light of this being so strong, this is not something that I can just drink nonstop. If I start drinking this now, I'll get drunk. And then I won't be able to do a day-long marathon.
Hearing Phil say he can't function if he gets drunk is comedy gold. Let's not pretend he hasn't been tipsy or outright smashed on stream before. Just look at the slurred speech and those infamous unhinged ramblings. I mean, these obviously aren't any smoking guns by themselves, strictly speaking, but you have to be as gullible as a typical pay pig if you think he hasn't gamed under the influence several times already. But let's get down to the facts. Drunk Phil wouldn't be much different from sober Phil. He's just as bad as games, just as salty, but now with a handy excuse. I'm not bad, guys, it's the sketch. The saddest part is he probably wouldn't be fun to watch even when drunk. He probably wouldn't even be entertaining at all. Just imagine the same begging and whining but with bonus hiccups. That's riveting content, I guess. Regardless of all that, sure thing Phil, whatever helps you sleep or stumble to PetSmart and Total Wine.
Yeah, it's just pure BS. Again, if you drink it like an alcoholic, you're gonna get shit-faced pretty fast. The issue here isn't the drink, it's Phil. I just got done going over how I respected my spirits not too long ago. If he thinks this is a big deal drink, then he should drink it like one. Pour a small glass over the rocks and sip it over the course of the night. The water and the ice will eventually mix into it and keep you hydrated, staving off the effects. Even if you don't like ice in your whiskey, you can drink it straight and just keep a glass of water nearby. He wants to get drunk. He's coming at this with the maturity of a child.
Keep in mind, this marathon is running till like 8, 9 p.m. depending on, how long we go with certain games and the like. there's no way that I could just drink this all day. So it is single malt too, so it's the good stuff. This is not a blend, it's single malt, meaning it's gonna be like incredibly good.
If I reach $300 of contributions by the end of today's marathon, I had a good day. If we can do better than that, that would be amazing. Keep in mind, every $150 counts as one goal. This will be in effect today. Depending on how much people contribute today, we could jump tons of goals today. And by the end of today, we could be at a big high number and be in line to possibly do another DSP tries soon. And remember, when we hit 50, we're going to do a special event, either a marathon that you guys will guide, or possibly the return of viewer's choice, which we haven't done in a very long time.
So today we could get big headway towards our next milestone goal.
Fuck, Omnissiah have mercy, because DSP has basically turned his streams into live service gaming grifts. Like I said in the previous video, if you're subbing to DSP, again, fucking disgusting, reconsider your life choices, my friend. Anyway, if you're subbing to DSP, you're definitely buying into a subscription as a service scheme. The ridiculous outfits, that's pure microtransaction cosmetics. The milestones for content like DSP tries it, straight out of the Battle Pass playbook. This isn't a gaming stream anymore. It's a fear of missing out fueled cash grab designed to milk viewers like they're playing Farmville.
And I even hate to say how much time I've spent on this motherfucker, but
the worst part is I can't even tell if this is calculated manipulation or just DSP being DSP, a natural born pig roach stumbling into his live service model by sheer instinct. Either way, it's grotesque. I mean, remember when streaming was about talking games, sharing experiences, and just being a chill hangout spot? Alright, DSP would need actual charisma and a genuine love for gaming to pull that off. And also to take off the act off mask and let people talk about something other than his fucking gameplay. I guess we're stuck with this nonsense instead. Gross.
Want to know what else he doesn't have? A sense of financial responsibility. I know it's basically beating a dead horse at this point, and I'll say it again, I blame his parents. The fact that he basically built his entire life off of credit is evidence enough that his parents either did not teach him these things or did not beat his ass enough to instill some goddamn sense in him. In fact, I don't suspect any of the people supporting him know what financial responsibility is either. Personally, I would want to know what he's doing with all the goddamn cash. Where does it all go? I've done the math before and this guy's living way above his means. He's expecting $300? His milestones are in increments of 150? The fuck? Even if I didn't do any of this math, this just screams out that he's either up to his gin-soaked eyes in debt or even deeper into some kind of addiction.
Okay? So, this is going to be great. I'm excited. It's going to be a great day of gaming, of all kinds of stuff we're going to be doing together today. Alright? So here's what I'm thinking. Let's see what you guys think. Okay? Some of these other drinks, I'm going to casually drink over the course of the day. Like, I could easily sip on the Winter Jack or try the Yule Nog, you know, see what they taste like, and that's fine. But when it comes to the serious business, scotch, I think I'm going to take one shot every $100 that I raise today. It smells good, man. Alright, my first ever shot of not blended. So what is it called when it's not blended? It's called single malt Scotch whiskey. Salute, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone. Let's do it. It's definitely, it's strong enough to make my eyes water. That's really strong.
Okay, I'm done with this shit. Taking shots of scotch should be punishable by execution. Don't even at me. This is heresy and I will die on this hill.
Email just dropped a holly jolly 50 sub bomb on YouTube. Excuse me, 50 member bomb.
Listen, my soft goal for today was around 700. I was hoping we could hit 700. My stretch goal for today is 1,000. All right. Now, I'm not expecting we're gonna hit either of those. We're at like 560, but I'm gonna be here till like 8, 9 o'clock. So it'd be great if we could hit those. I don't think we're going to, but if we hit those, that would be stupendous. That would help a ton.
Listening to DSP talk about his soft goals and stretch goals feels like misclicking something and accidentally tuning into a corporate earnings call. Except instead of a polished CEO, it's an unshaven guy in a Santa suit begging for beer money. I mean, the Santa suit comes later, but oh well, I guess spoiler alert. This isn't streaming at all. It's a bad QVC segment disguised as content. DSP calls his channel a successful business, but at this point, the only thing it's successfully doing is milking his audience dry. And let's not kid ourselves. The pay pigs propping up this greasy empire aren't getting a return on their investment. Instead, they're bombarded with constant updates about revenue milestones and contribution counts. You know, things only DSP himself should care about. Wasn't this supposed to be a gaming stream? What the fuck's going on? Where's the actual gaming? Instead of commentary or entertainment, we get a thinly veiled fundraiser, with DSP playing the role of a carny barking at the crowd to throw more cash at the pig pen. It's exhausting. Why would anyone show up to a gaming stream to hear this nonsense? He's turned what should be fun into a bureaucratic slog. It's gaming, Phil. It's not the State of the Union. Fuck. Just play the damn game.
Come on, man. Do you want to play the fucking game?
It really is gross the way this guy handles contributions. He's effectively done fuck all this entire time. Just sat his fat, greasy ass in front of a camera and started a stream. First of all, those of you who give him cash, just fucking why? Secondly, he isn't grateful for this at all because he expects it. He thinks he's providing a service or a product that's worth getting hundreds of bucks a day, but he just isn't. I know I talk about this guy a lot, but AA, shout out to the Toad Lord, is constantly thanking everyone for whatever they give him, but he always says, don't put yourself at any financial risk. It's wholesome and humble, and over the years you can see how he's improved not only the stream but also his videos. And conversely, we have Phil, who openly states that he's expecting $1,000 because fucking reasons, I guess. He gets tips, contributions, and sub bombs, and he just nonchalantly glosses over them like, yeah, Chud, know your place and give act off your monies.
What I'm shocked at is that, like, only Real Tricks has gifted anything over on Kick, and none of the Kick regulars seem to be here today. So, I don't know what happened. I don't know where everyone is. It's certainly not like they're distracted by anything else. Kino Casino's not even around today, so it's not that.
You hear that shit, chat? This is peak DSP. He's openly lamenting the absence of specific pay pigs or fan bases while guilt-tripping them for not tipping. He genuinely acts like prior contributions come with a lifetime obligation to keep his pockets full. It's the entitlement of a guy who's convinced he's owed a constant stream of cash just for showing up. Spoiler alert, you're not, Phil. What really bugs me is how transparent this is. There's no concern for the audience or even the content itself. It's all about the bottom line. The mask slips and we're left with the same tired message. I stream for free every day, guys. Give me monies. And then to top it off, he has the gall to insult the very people he's begging from. It's incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your support today. Colored Pencils is the last super chatter. That was like 3+ hours ago. No Couture is the biggest tipper with $50, and that tip came in about an hour and a half ago. In fact, the only contribution we had in the past 2 hours was a $2.22 tip from Gorilla Pimp.
Honestly, it's moments like this that make it clear DSP has zero understanding of how to foster a community. It's not about guilting or singling people out, it's about creating something worth supporting. But hey, why do that when you can just milk the few pay pigs left in your orbit, right? Wish someone would throw me into orbit, to be honest.
I feel like a good portion of Phil's issue is that he's never been on the other side of the fence. I think I remember a long time ago him saying that he was looking for a specific kind of content, but it didn't exist, so he made that content himself. Honestly, big ups, be the change you want to see in the world and all that white girl shit. However, DSP's never been a regular in anyone else's stream as far as I know. I honestly can't even think of any examples besides that one Street Fighter stream that he was a mod on and got kicked out the same fucking night he showed up. Like Wirch just said, it's a lack of self-awareness as well as a lack of experience. It's like a manager on a development team who doesn't know anything about development. Except in Phil's case, he's a streamer who doesn't know what it's like to watch a streamer. I like to think that I'm self-aware enough to have these thoughts. I led a raid group and thought to myself, what are the aspects that I admired in others who led raid groups, and worked based on that. In my professional career, I'm a senior developer, and I often think back on other leads that I looked up to and constantly ask myself, am I making them proud? Do I embody the traits that I admired in them? It's just, I don't know, fucking pathetic to watch someone like Phil sit there and just stagnate, like milk, that someone threw up in. God, that's fucking gross.
By the way, for the record, over on Kick, you who've been chilling with me all day, guys, the only person who contributed on Kick today was Rare Tricks, and that was in the first, like, hour or two of the stream. Someone on Kick. It's the Christmas Marathon. Support the stream, support the content. Someone, let's get some support over on Kick. For 20 gifted subs, you get the VIP badge and the OG badge only this week. Let's get some support. Let's get it going. What's going on Kick? I'm gonna go over there, and I'm gonna personally spank your butts. Okay, that's disturbing.
Here we go again. DSP masking his begging with humor. Though, this isn't a joke, it's a thinly veiled attempt to squeeze more cash from his dwindling viewer base. And these so-called air quotes rewards? What? VIP and OG badges? I mean, please, who outside of his most diehard paypigs cares about that garbage? It's like handing out participation trophies at a dumpster fire. Now, gather around, children. Let's do our favorite perspective exercise. Imagine for a second you're a brand new viewer. You click on this stream hoping for gameplay or holiday fun, and instead you're treated to an awkward middle-aged man in a Santa hat ranting about Kick contributions and threatening to spank his chat for not tipping? Would you stick around? Of course not. You'd nope out of there faster than he can say, "This is a marathon, guys. Support the stream." And look, yeah, I know it's the pre-stream, but even here where he has the freedom to mix things up, he sticks to the same tired playbook. Guilt tripping, check. Whining, check. And shilling for money, double check. For the love of the Omnissiah, just start the actual content already, Phil. Actually, who the fuck am I kidding? The gameplay isn't much better. It's just more of the same half-assed nonsense topped up with the cherry of incompetence. But hey, why try when you can just beg, right?
I don't even know what the hell to say here. What the fuck am I even watching? Some fuckwit in a Christmas sweater telling me to give him money or he'll spank my ass? Good lord, at least thoughts on Twitch put on a low-cut top and bend over. I don't even get that here. Well, actually, we did just do a video on his glorious ass crack, bent over a computer case like a fucking Neanderthal. Oh, Omnissiah, what the fuck am I doing with my life? It would at least be entertaining if DSP did something to try and deserve this, but he won't even do that. It's like going on a date with someone, but they expect you to do everything. You pick them up, you ferry them around, you pay for everything, you keep every conversation going, and at the end of the experience, they just say thanks and fuck off. Like, what the fuck? I'd feel like I was robbed. I feel like I'm getting robbed by DSP and I didn't even give him shit. According to him, this is free content and I want a fucking refund.
What's going on, Kyle? How you doing? The marathon actually has been great, Kyle. We had a good time today. But, on Kick, it's been ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. I feel like if Kick had been supporting, I feel like we would have had an amazing, like, over-the-top supportive stream. Oh, what happened? Where's everyone on Kick who supports my content? No one's there today. Oh, God, more blood.
I remember, way back when, there was a time when DSP's grifting at least came with a storyline. I mean, remember the legendary taxes arc, the identity theft saga, or the bankruptcy chronicles? I mean, sure, they were as manipulative as anything, but at least they were wrapped up in some kind of narrative. Now it's just, "Hey, shoot up guys, so pay me." No stakes, no effort, just raw entitlement demanding cash. And this bit about Kick contributions somehow making the stream over the top supportive? What reality is this guy living in? He's been doing the same mediocre routine for years, consistently hitting his goals, or close enough. And now he thinks extending that mediocrity for a few more hours warrants a parade? It's like the guy thinks simply existing is a premium service. Now, picture this for a moment. An underwhelming guardsman of the Astra Militarum skips every drill, avoids every skirmish, and still expects a medal. The battle's raging, the regiment's fighting for the Emperor, and this clown's just standing there, demanding recognition for holding the morale line. He'd be last pistoled on the spot for dereliction of duty. DSP is that guardsman. No effort, no achievement, yet somehow his regiment still feeds him rations. Make that make sense. There are Hive worlds and there are Forge worlds. Well, DSP is living in a fucking clown world, I swear.
I don't know, man. I don't think the Imperium would even waste the armor and lasgun on DSP. Sure, he'd be something else to get shot at, but why even waste the resources at that point? Unfortunately, this is not the Imperium, and by some grace of the Emperor, DSP got this far. Just, Just fucking why?
But if we hit 750, that's kind of what I was going for. That would mean 5 goals hit in one day. Anything counts. And like I said, I'm doing a special thing. For 20 subs over on Kick, you get the VIP badge and the OG badge. For only 10 subs over on Kick, I will give you the VIP badge, which actually means I owe Diet Pepsi Rich the VIP badge. I'm sorry, Diet Pepsi Rich, because I didn't say anything.
Once again, DSP reaffirms his title as the galaxy's most shameless grifter. Hawking meaningless nonsense like OG badges and VIP badges. These aren't rewards, my friend. They're participation trophies for existing in his chat. And even calling them that feels too generous. If I still had salivary glands, I'd spit on these digital trinkets out of sheer contempt.
To be realistic about this, what else could DSP even do? He would bitch and whine that he's a video game streamer and can't do gimmicks like the cardboard cowboy. He tried to show merch and that went nowhere. He tried giveaways of mostly empty cases and that went nowhere. What else does he have to offer aside from his begging, his jowls, and his bad gameplay?
Yet somehow he manages to frame these badges like they're priceless artifacts from the Golden Throne itself. It's a special thing, guys. Only $20 a pop. And you get a shiny sticker next to your name? The fact that he can sell nothing with such confidence is equal parts fascinating and disgusting.
Well, to be fair, it did work on Twitter. Want this blue check mark next to your name? That'd be $8 a month, Chud.
And let's not forget, this isn't even the only Beckman we've seen in this one segment alone. If Snort Burnell had timestamped every Beckman in this clip, we'd need a spreadsheet to track it all. 2 in this snippet is already too many for anyone with functional gray matter. It's like an officer in the Imperium demanding rations for the privilege of wearing slightly shinier flak armor. Except DSP doesn't even offer that. It's just a lousy sticker for your name. Even in a galaxy plagued by heresy and war, this level of grifting is unparalleled. At least the fucking armor keeps you safe from Xeno's scum. I wonder if that one guardsman would feel pride in his last moments before being gobbled up by a Carnifex. Do you think he'd be proud that he contributed some rations to maintaining a freeloading pig roach? Hell, at least if it were some physical stickers you could put them on your gear to show off your poor decisions, but not even that, man.
Oh, 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 oh. Welcome everyone to DSP's Christmas Annual Marathon for 2024. Welcome one and all the good girls and all the good boys. Oh, 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 oh. It has been many a year since Santa has made an appearance in DSP's content. He's been a very naughty boy this past decade, but now things are different.
Let's take a moment to walk in Cat's horseshoes for a bit, as nauseating as that idea may be. Imagine being tethered to a man whose entire livelihood revolves around this. Dressing up as Santa and in closet office hybrids, shaking his digital tip jar while spewing half-hearted ho-ho-hos in between grifts. It's not just absurd, it's downright soul-crushing. And yet, this is her reality every single day. Can you fathom marrying this guy? Letting him put a ring in your finger, let alone enduring it without succumbing to despair? I know people like to sometimes pick on mall Santas, but at least those guys actually interact with people and don't just sit in front of a camera drinking gin from a thermos and whining about games.
I think the most egregious part of this is that she willingly chose this. Given the drama around Subaru Guy at the time of Ket's inception, I don't buy into her story that he was abusing her. She seems exceptionally timid and doesn't seem to have a lot of confidence in herself. Her body language speaks far more than her mouth ever could, assuming she had a worthwhile opinion on literally anything. Regardless, she knew who DSP was, she knew what his life was, and she knew what kind of streamer he was. It's not like he just picked the bitch up like a loaf of bread at the store. Consent was established both ways. I'm more curious why anyone would settle for DSP, but I don't know, here we fucking are, I guess.
But here's the thing, quirky or unconventional lifestyles can be admirable, fulfilling even, when there's a passion or purpose behind them. But DSP's routine isn't quirky, it's pathetic. There's no artistry, there's no love for what he does, and certainly no meaningful connection to his audience. It's just Grift after lies after scam, back to fucking back like Drake, with the Santa suit acting as this year's sleazy wrapping paper. Even Ket, with all her passivity, must occasionally see through the facade, and then again, giving her increasingly sedentary lifestyle, for lack of a better word, she probably just tunes it out while reaching for the next snack. Not that I blame her, really. Actually I do, but yeah.
This is actually an interesting point that I've given an absurd amount of thought to. Who is DSP off stream? His attitude on stream speaks a lot to his inner character, but what does he actually do? Outside of my career, I try to take care of my house, I do chores, I play with and groom my dog, and I have pet projects to work on. Wirch and I just met a few days ago to do some project planning for a website idea. What does Phil do during his off time? I largely suspect that it's just nothing. He meanders around the house, phone in hand, and just sits on the couch with background noise or whatever. The way he interacts with Kat on stream is like watching two strangers just, fucking sit there, I guess. I've seen speedrunners on stream with their parents having more organic interactions than anything I've seen out of DSP and his soul man. But I suppose the only thing organic around that house is whatever he shovels into her gaping maw. Even Slanesh would want to get in on this shit.
In here, we are presented with the fucking god-awfulness that is DSP's Santa Claus grift. You know, I think everyone at times wants the freedom to say screw what anyone thinks, but what Phil's doing isn't rebellion, it's mediocrity dressed up in a Christmas hat, hoping to be mistaken for effort. Imagine Phil thinking himself the Katniss fucking Everdeen of video game commentary. Worse yet, his version of Santa doesn't even give gifts to the nice list. He takes from them to fund his gin and mobile game addiction. Let's not forget, this is a man who once accepted money from homeless people. I mean, the mind boggles.
And I guess if you weren't around for the Brother Sean Julian experience, I'll break it down for you real quick and then we'll call it a day. So Brother Sean popped up in DSP's chat one night, under a different account by the way, not under this one, and he tipped Phil $300. But Brother Sean had videos on that channel as well, talking about how he was homeless and needed help. So people in the chat started questioning him on why he was giving Phil money. And as you can see, he said it's manageable. Still technically homeless, but I have enough to get by. I am good for a while.
Craig from Side Scrollers made a good point about this. Would you accept money from a questionable source? I assumed at the time it was a jab at Derek. Darish? Whatever, that weird guy. Anyway, this is not a call to action, but he should get his ass beat for this. Like, you found out your friend is a streamer and he's taking money from the homeless? You're obligated to smack that bitch in the mouth.
Easy mode checkpoint, of course. The next reloading. Can I mash buttons for God's sakes? It's a fighting game! Take this! Oh look, another star! How original! Amazing! A dodge mechanic that doesn't actually have any reaction from an enemy! Wow! Past the arbitrary field full of arbitrary enemies to the arbitrary tower. Very exciting, very original. Oh, I'm in combat, am I? Could have fooled me. Oh.
Watching DSP stumble through the intro of Stellar Blade is like watching a rerun of his greatest hits. It's clumsy gameplay, shallow commentary, and an utter inability to engage with the material in front of him. This is the self-proclaimed hardcore gamer struggling to clear a tutorial while brushing off game mechanics with the same energy as a kid dismissing homework. And let's not forget, this is the same guy who's roasted gaming journalists for their ineptitude.
I know it's not displayed here, but Memology, Shoutout, also put out a video on DSP's interaction with Stellar Blade. Simply put, he just couldn't give a fuck less.
Oh my, that's me? Ho, 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 ho. Okay, oh my. I see a couple of hot cross buns that I haven't seen in a while. Okay. So I locked the door for Mrs. Claus from coming in when I play this. What for the play? Oh my goodness. Look at the size of those snowballs coming down out of the sky. You'll just have to rub against each other for once. I mean, you'll just have to protect each other. I know, DSP is such a pussy.
I am, however, entertained by his seeming return to his older style, vaguely alluding to Eve's assets, but it's so dull that it just feels fake. So again, what are we even watching here? An alcoholic mall Santa playing video games that he doesn't give a shit about, and he thinks this is worth $1,000 bucks?
Stellar Blade thrives on precision and mastery, the kind of gameplay that rewards skillful execution and creative strategy. In other words, it's the antithesis of DSP. Games like these don't just expose his lack of effort, they amplify it. You know, instead of adapting or improving, he resorts to brute force and button mashing, complaining about every death as though the game's mechanics are personally conspiring against him. It's a slow motion car crash of incompetence and entitlement. And then there's this awkward commentary on Eve, you know, the elephant in the room. DSP's discomfort with fan service is as predictable as it is cringe-inducing. It's kinda obvious how he tries to play it off with half-hearted jokes, but it's also clear he's not equipped to handle anything that strays even slightly into suggestive territory. The result is this weird, joyless blend of prudishness and forced humor that makes you long for the sweet release of the daily rap. Ultimately, he's only playing this because of some bullshit tips goal. It's painfully obvious he doesn't care about the game or the experience, and it's just another box to tick on his grift checklist. And while he'll probably slog it through a bit longer, the pattern is predictable. He'll complain, he'll beg for tips, and he'll drag his audience through the mediocrity like a dying servitor sputtering through its last task.
Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if he ever came back to this game. I presume this is just something he played as part of the marathon and never intends to touch again, like Super Meat Boy. I played the demo to Stellar Blade. I don't intend to play the full game until it comes to PC, omnisci willing. However, the demo was enough to get a feel for the game, and yeah, like Wirch just said, you do need to know some of the mechanics and get a feel for when to parry and dodge. Another reason I don't suspect he'll ever touch this game again is, sadly, because of Eve. I don't know why people are so up in arms over a shapely girl in a bodysuit, but here the fuck we are, I guess. Kratos, over the course of a handful of games, goes around shirtless, ripped to the throne of Zeus and back, slaying Olympian gods, and that's fine, but a toned girl in tight clothes is what we lose our shit over. Emperor, please purge this planet.
Well, are you happy now? I played the intro to that. I'm sorry, that game is fucking stupid. It's the same as every other fucking generic combat game ever. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. What the fuck? That was so fucking boring. I rather would go to sleep for an hour than play that. But what the fuck, man? Seriously. Like, all day we were having a chill time, we were having a good time playing random games, and you really play that shit. It's like so fucking boring. It's exactly what I thought it was. Literally, it's a fucking generic combat, do some little parry, do a little dodge here. Boring as fuck.
Watching DSP's rant about Stellar Blade feels like the gaming equivalent of a chef blaming the oven because they burned dinner. His complaints are as predictable as they are uninsightful. According to Phil, the game is boring because it involves a little parry and a little dodge. That's riveting analysis. By that logic, Bloodborne is boring, Devil May Cry is snooze fest, the entire Soulsborne genre sleep-inducing. What DSP really means is, I suck at this game, and instead of admitting that, I'm going to call it generic. And let's not ignore his awkward pearl clutching whenever Eve's assets are on display. This is the same dude who used to make off-color remarks about women on the regular. Now he can't handle a bit of fan service without acting like it's a moral crisis or like he's reviewing fucking hardcore porn. Did YouTube's guidelines neuter him this much, or is something else going on? Honestly, the answer might lie closer to home. Which brings me to Cat. Now, this is pure speculation, but it's hard not to wonder if DSP's prude act is less about YouTube's optics and more about keeping the peace at home. Jealousy or insecurity from a significant other can be a powerful motivator, children. If Cat is giving him grief over in-game fan service, that's a whole other layer of dysfunction I can't begin to unpack. I mean, relatable? Maybe, but for throne's sake, play it off better, Phil. You're a streamer, goddammit, not a Sunday school teacher. Or, and here's a wild idea, get a partner who isn't threatened by pixels. Oh god, reading this line just made me think of something. Do you think Cat would have been jelly if John Rambo were still around and DSP would still say shit like this?
Yes, they said that you're a gay boy, and that we're gonna make love to each other tonight.
I really hate to say it, but I do believe Wirch is right here. When DSP was with the delicious, sexy bitch known as Panda Lee, still love you girl, he was still saying these things. He would make these comments with her in the room, sometimes even on stream with him. It wasn't until Hamdromeda showed up on the scene and he gently removed his balls, placed them in her purse, and said, "I'm yours." Since then, all we get is pure cringe whenever a female shows up on stream. This is 100% her fault. And, speaking from experience, she obviously does have jealousy issues if he needs to make this kind of a 180 on his commentary.
At the end of the day, this is just another entry in DSP's long history of whining about games he can't or won't engage with. The fact that he made $810 during this train wreck of a stream is both impressive and depressing. It's like watching someone sell tickets to their own public humiliation and then complain that the crowd is too fucking loud. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Thanks for watching, leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.